Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the today's lecture on joint probability, conditional probability, total probability, and Bayes theorem. So, before discussing these topics, let us recall what we have discussed in the previous class. So, in the previous class, we have discussed the definition of probability and different axioms of probability, next different properties of probability. So, based on these things, we have discussed some problems. Okay, right? So in the today's class, let us discuss the topics on joint probability, conditional probability, total probability, and Bayes theorem. So the first topic is joint probability. So let us consider two events A and B. So these two events are not mutually exclusive. In the previous class, I have already told you that mutually exclusive means both are not having any common elements in a sample space. This is called mutually exclusive. Not mutually exclusive means both are, this is event A and this is event B, both are having some common elements in the sample space S. So we call it as not mutually exclusive. Okay. So joint probability of two events A and B which are not mutually exclusive is defined as the probability of joint or simultaneous occurrence of events A and B. So this is, we call it as P of A intersection B. Okay, so simultaneous occurrence of A and B means the two events A and B occurring at the same time. Both events are happening at the same time, then we call that probability as joint probability, right? So P of A intersection B, we know that P of A plus P of B minus P of A union B. So take this to the left hand side and this one to the right hand side, we get P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. So we already know that for mutually exclusive events, P of A intersection B is 0. But here P of A intersection B is not equal to 0 because the two events are not mutually exclusive. So we won't make this to 0. So P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B means that value is always less than P of A plus P of B. So from this, what we can infer, the probability of the union of two events is always less than or equal to the sum of event probabilities. Okay, this is joint probability. Next, coming to the next topic, conditional probability. Conditional probability means, first of all, let us see an example. So this is the example we can consider for conditional probability. So in this, let us consider a jar. Jar contains 3 red balls, 1 green ball and 2 violet balls. So in total, how many balls are there? 7 balls are there. So first, let us pick up a ball from this jar containing 7 balls. So that event we call it as event A. Okay. So without replacing that ball, pick another ball. That we call it as event B. Suppose in the first event, if we draw a green ball, let us consider event A. Okay. Without replacing this green ball in the jar, let us pick another ball. So another ball means we get either red ball or violet ball, but we cannot get green ball. So that means the occurrence of event B, the occurrence of event B is dependent on the occurrence of event A, which has already happened. Event A is drawing a ball from the jar and event B is, without replacing the drawn ball, we are replacing the another ball, that is event B. So the occurrence of event B is always dependent on the occurrence of event A, which has already happened. So that we denote it by probability of B given A. Remember that we have to say that B given A, that is not by B by A. It is not correct. B given A. So probability of event B given event A. So this is the second event depends on, second event means event B. The second event depends on the condition that the first event has already happened. Based on the occurrence of event A, we define event B. Suppose if it is P of A given B means the occurrence of event A is dependent on the occurrence of event B which has already happened, on the condition that B has already happened. Okay, so this is called conditional probability. So let us see the definition of conditional probability. See here the definition of conditional probability: the probability of event B given event A is known to have occurred, event A is known to have occurred, is denoted by conditional probability P of B given A. The probability of the second event depends on the condition of the occurrence of the first event. This is called as conditional probability. Now, what is the formula of conditional probability? This one. P of B given A equal to P of, in general we know that P of B given A equal to P of B intersection A by P of A. Okay. So according to the commutative law, we know that P of B intersection A equal to P of A intersection B. That's why I have written here. And in the denominator term, P of A is not equal to 0. Next, the conditional probability of event A given event B is P of A given B equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. And the denominator term P of B is not equal to 0. If P of B is equal to 0, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, and A and B are mutually exclusive, then we know that A intersection B is equal to 0. 0 means null set, so it is represented by 5. And next, P of A given B is equal to 0. Next, in this conditional probability, let us consider three events. Events A, B and C. In the three events, let us say that events A and C are mutually exclusive. A and C are mutually exclusive means A intersection C equal to 0. Probability of A intersection C is equal to 0. Here A and B are not mutually exclusive and B and C are not mutually exclusive. Only the two events A and C are mutually exclusive. So let us consider this law according to the distributive property A union C intersection B. We can write this one as A intersection B union C intersection B. Union means it is plus, separate the terms and write P of A intersection B plus P of C intersection B. Okay, so now take conditional probability of the three events P of A union C given B. We can write this one as P of A union C intersection B by P of B. Okay, substitute equation number 3 and 4. Now substitute this one in the numerator part. P of A intersection B plus P of C intersection B by P of B. Now separate the terms and write P of A intersection B by P of B and P of C intersection B by P of B. So from conditional probability we know that P of A intersection B by P of B is P of A given B and P of C intersection B by P of B is P of C given B. Okay, so this is about conditional probability, and some of the properties of conditional probability let us see. So here there is no heading, sorry for the inconvenience. Note it down, the properties of conditional probability. Okay, so first let us consider a sample space S. In that sample space there are two events A and B. So B is a subset of A, and if B is a subset of A, then we have to prove that P of A given B is equal to 1. This we have to prove. So remember one point here, B is a subset of A means the elements of B are in the set A. So if B is a subset of A, probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of B. So from the definition of conditional probability we can write P of A given B equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. So if B is a subset of A, P of A intersection B is P of B. Substitute here, P of B by P of B is 1. Next, second property, if B is a subset of A, then P of B given A equal to P of B by P of A. So P of B given A equal to, from conditional probability, this is the formula, P of B given A equal to P of B intersection A by P of A. So if B is a subset of A, P of A intersection B or P of B intersection A both are same according to the commutative law. So P of B intersection A is equal to P of A intersection B equal to P of B. So the numerator term is P of B by the denominator term is P of A. And the next property, P of A given B is greater than or equal to 0. That means the conditional probability is always a non-negative number. So let us see the definition of conditional probability. P of A given B equal to P of A intersection B by P of B, and for denominator part is not equal to 0 or greater than 0. So here if P of A intersection B is greater than equal to 0, then P of B is also greater than or equal to 0. Then P of A given B is greater than or equal to 0. Or similarly we can say P of B given A is also greater than or equal to 0, which is a non-negative number. Next, fourth point or fourth property, if A and B are the two events in the sample space, then we have to prove this. P of S given A equal to P of S given B equal to 1. And the second one is P of A given S equal to P of A, and probability of B given S equal to probability of B. What is S here? S represents sample space. S represents sample space. Okay. So now from the properties of or axioms of probability we know that one thing you have to recollect, probability of sample space is equal to 1. This we have discussed in the last class. Remember this point here. Now first let us consider P of S given A. Use the conditional probability formula here. P of S given A equal to P of S intersection A by P of A. So according to the commutative law we can write P of S intersection A equal to P of A intersection S. So P of A intersection S is P of A. How can we write this? Because in the sample space both A and B events are present. Okay, so here A is a subset of sample space and B is also a subset of sample space. So A intersection S equal to P of A and P of B intersection S equal to P of B, because A and B are subsets of sample space S. So next we can write P of A intersection S equal to P of A. Next, in the same way we can write P of S given B equal to P of S intersection B by P of B. So S intersection B is same as B intersection S. B intersection S means P of B. So the numerator part is P of B and the denominator is P of B, which is equal to 1. So this one we have proved. And second one, P of A given S equal to P of A. Use the conditional probability formula here. P of A given S equal to P of A intersection S by P of S. Okay, P of A intersection S equal to P of A, because A is a subset of sample space. And next, probability of sample space is equal to 1. This is one of the axiom of probability. So this is P of A. In the same way, do for P of B given S. P of B intersection S by P of S. B intersection S is P of B, because B is subset of sample space and it is P of B. Okay, next one, next property, this one we have already discussed just now. Consider two events A and B. Here the two events A and B are mutually exclusive, not A and C. A and B are mutually exclusive, then A intersection C and B intersection C are mutually exclusive. Then we have to prove this. So first consider P of A union B given C. This is equal to, according to conditional probability, write this formula. P of A union B intersection C by P of C. Okay, from distributive law we can separate this. P of A union B given intersection C equal to P of intersection C union B intersection C. Separate this one. Union means plus P of A intersection C plus B of B intersection C. Now substitute this one here. P of A intersection C plus P of B intersection C by P of C. After substitution, separate the terms and write. Separate these two terms and separate these two terms. We get P of A intersection C by P of C and P of B intersection C by P of C. So this is according to conditional probability. A intersection C by P of C means P of A given C. B intersection C by P of C means P of B given C. So A union B given C equal to P of A given C plus P of B given C. Remember this. Now based on these two concepts, total probability and conditional probability, let us solve some examples. Problems. The first one, understand the problem. In a box there are 100 resistors having resistance and tolerance as shown in the table. Here the table is given here. Let a resistor be selected from the box and assume each resistor has the same likelihood of being chosen. Define three events. The three events are, the first event A is drawing 47 ohm resistance and B is drawing a resistance with 5% tolerance and C is drawing a 100 ohm resistor. Here we have to find joint probabilities and conditional probabilities. Joint probabilities means intersection. Joint probability means intersection. There are three events A, B and C. A intersection B, B intersection C and A intersection C. The three joint probabilities we have to find out. And next one, conditional probabilities means P of A given B, P of B given C and P of A given C. We have to find out. Okay, so the table is given here. Note down. See here, these are the resistance values. 22 ohm resistance, 47 ohm resistor and 100 ohm resistances are there with 5% tolerance and 10% tolerance. So the total values are given here. So let us define event A is, in the problem itself it is given that event A is drawing a 47 ohm resistance. So P of A is P of 47. So how many 47 ohm resistors are there? 44. Okay, 47 ohm resistors, 44 are there. So probability of drawing 47 ohm resistance is 44 by the total number of resistors are 100. So 44 by 100. Next, event B is probability of drawing a resistor with 5% tolerance. That is event B. So resistances are here. 5% tolerance. How many resistors are there? 62 out of 100. So probability of an event B is 62 by 100. Next, what is event C? C is 100 ohm resistor, drawing a 100 ohm resistor. So here 100 ohm resistors, how many are there? 32. So 32 by 100. So we have defined three events, P of A, P of B and P of C. These are the three probabilities. Next, we need to find out joint probabilities and conditional probabilities. Joint probabilities are P of A intersection B, B intersection C and A intersection C. So what is A intersection B? P of A means 47 ohms, B means 5% tolerance. So this is 47 ohm resistor with 5% tolerance, which is common, 28. The value is 28. So 28 by 100, A intersection B. Next one, A intersection C. What is A? 47 ohm resistance is event A, and C is drawing a 100 ohm resistor. Is there any common thing present? No, it does not make any sense, so it is 0. Next, probability of B intersection C. B intersection C means B is 5% tolerance, C means 100 ohms. So for common it is 24. So probability of B intersection C is 24 by 100. So these are the three joint probabilities. Next one, conditional probabilities we have to find out. Conditional probabilities are P of A given B. A given B is P of A intersection B by P of B. P of A intersection B means 28 by 100, this one numerator, and P of B is 62 by 100 denominator, 28 by 62. Next, P of A intersection C is, P of A given C is P of A intersection C by P of C. A intersection C is 0, so it is 0. Next, P of B given C is P of B intersection C by P of C. P of B intersection C is 24 by 100 numerator part, and P of C is 32 by 100 denominator part. So this is 24 by 32. Okay. Next one is total probability. So now let us see what is total probability. So consider a sample space here. This is a sample space S. So in this sample space, let us define n number of mutually exclusive events. Those events are denoted by Bn. That means from B1 to Bn. So mutually exclusive means the events which are not having any common element. That means B1 is not related to B2, and B1 and B2 both are not related to B3. B1, B2, B3 are not related to B4. So that's why we have drawn like this. B1 and B2 are not sharing any common elements in the sample space. And next, in the same way, B2, B3 are not sharing any common elements in the sample space S. In the same way, B1 and B3 are also not sharing any common elements in sample spaces. Similarly, we have to consider for n number of elements. All the n events are mutually exclusive events. Okay, so all the events are not having any common elements. So we write Bm intersection Bn equal to psi. Psi means null set, not having any elements, so it is 0. Now the probability of any event A defined on this sample space can be expressed in terms of conditional probabilities of events Bn. This is called as total probability of event A. Total probability of event A is summation n equal to 1 to n P of A given Bn into P of Bn. This is the formula of total probability. Total probability is based on the conditional probability. Okay, so A is, what is A here? A is an event defined in the sample space. The sample space contains n number of mutually exclusive events, and also we have defined an event A in that sample space itself. The probability of that event A is defined in terms of the conditional probabilities. Okay, conditional probabilities of events Bn, that is P of A given Bn. We can write it as P of A given B1 into P of B1 plus P of A given B2 into P of B2 plus P of A given B3 into P of B3 up to so on n number of values. Let us see the proof of this total probability theorem. So here we already know that a sample space S has n mutually exclusive events, and n we define it as Bn. N is from 1 to capital N. Okay, so all the events are mutually exclusive. So Bm intersection Bn equal to 5. Intersection Bn means both are having not having any common element, so it is equal to 0. And this sample space S contains how many events? N number of events. So we write this one. union of n equal to 1 to n, bn equal to sample space. In this sample space, n number of events are present. So we write this one as S equal to b1 union b2 union b3 union up to bn. In the sample space itself, we define an event A. Okay, A is a subset of sample space. A is a subset of sample space, and if A is a subset of S, then we can write this one, A intersection S equal to A. Now we know this equation number 1. Substitute S here. Substitute equation number 1 in 2. So A equal to A intersection, this value is S, union of n equal to 1 to n bn. Okay. Now apply probability. Take probability on both sides. P of A equal to P of union n equal to 1 to n A intersection bn. Now the third axiom of probability, what is that? The union of n number of mutually exclusive events are there, then the probability of these n number of mutually exclusive events is equal to sum of the individual event probabilities. This is the third axiom. Okay, so P of union n equal to 1 to n bn equal to, we can write this one as summation n equal to 1 to n probability of bn. So in the same way we can write this one, probability of A equal to, equation number 4 we can write according to the axiom 3, P of A equal to summation of n equal to 1 to n P of A intersection bn. Now take the conditional probability, A given bn equal to, what is A given bn? P of A intersection bn by P of bn. Take this to the left hand side, P of A given A intersection bn equal to P of A given bn by P of bn. Now substitute this P of A intersection bn in equation number 6. P of A equal to summation n equal to 1 to n P of A given bn into P of bn. This is total probability. Remember this formula, P of A equal to summation n equal to 1 to n P of A given bn into P of bn. So P of A is an event A we have defined in the sample space S. So A is a subset of sample space. The probability of event A in the sample space is defined in terms of conditional probabilities. Okay, conditional probabilities are P of A given bn. Okay, this is the concept of total probability. Now let us see Bayes' theorem. So Bayes' theorem is mainly based on, here we have to remember two important probabilities here. Bayes' theorem, this one, priori probability, or we call it as prior probability, and posterior probability. So prior probability means the probability we define before the event takes place or before happening of the event. So that probability we call it as a prior probability. And posterior probability means the probability we define after happening of the prior probabilities, or after based on the outcome of the prior probability we define posterior probability. So Bayes' theorem is based on these two probabilities, prior probability and posterior probability. Let us see, prior probability means the probability defined before the performance of the experiment, and posterior probability means after performing the experiment we define posterior probability, and this is called as conditional probability. So the best example of prior probability is tossing a coin. So we know that coin has two sides, head and tail. So even before conducting an experiment, we can say the outcome is either head or tail. That is 50% probability. So to say that 50% probability, we no need to consider an experiment, or we no need to conduct an experiment. So that probability is called as prior probability. And posterior probability means it is called as conditional probability. Conditional probability means based on the occurrence of the first event we define another event. Okay, so that is posterior probability. So the Bayes theorem, for defining the Bayes theorem, let us see the statement. Consider a sample space S has n mutually exclusive events, and the n mutually exclusive events Bm intersection Bn is equal to 5. And here in the same way as total probability, let us consider a event A in the sample space S. Now the Bayes theorem we define as P of Bn given A equal to P of A given Bn into P of Bn by P of A given B1 into P of B1 plus P of A given B2 into P of B2 plus so on up to n number of terms, because there are n number of mutually exclusive events. P of A given Bn into P of Bn. So this formula you have to remember. This is Bayes theorem. So let us see the proof. The example of Bayes theorem we will discuss after this proof. So let us see the proof. First of all, consider a conditional probability P of Bn given A. P of Bn given A is P of Bn intersection A by P of A. Here P of A is not equal to 0. Take this to the left hand side. We write P of Bn intersection A equal to P of this one to the left hand side, P of Bn given A by P of A. Okay, this is equation number 1. Next, P of, in the same way we consider P of A given Bn. P of A intersection Bn by P of Bn if P of Bn is not equal to 0. P of A intersection Bn equal to P of A given Bn into P of Bn. Okay, so this is equation number 2. So Bayes theorem is obtained by equating these two equations 1 and 2. Equate these two. P of Bn given A and P equal to P of A given Bn. Equate these two left hand side terms and equate these two right hand side terms. P of Bn intersection A by P of A equal to P of A intersection Bn by P of A. And we know that according to the commutative property, P of A intersection Bn equal to P of Bn intersection A. That means these two numerator terms are same. If these two are same, we can cancel each other. Okay, so after cancelling, what the remaining terms, what is the remaining part? P of Bn given A equal to P of A given Bn equal to 1 by P of A equal to 1 by P of B. Now equate these two parts and equate these two parts. P of, let us take this P of A to the left hand side. P of Bn given A into P of A, and take this to this side. P of A given Bn into P of Bn. So P of Bn given A equal to, bring this to the denominator side, P of A given Bn into P of Bn by P of A. So from this, substitute this one in the total probability expression. So total probability P of Bn given A equal to, sorry, conditional probability P of Bn given A equal to P of A given Bn into P of Bn by summation. Okay, P of A is total probability, substitute total probability here. This is total probability expression. Okay, so Bn given A equal to P of A given Bn by P of Bn by summation n equal to 1 to n P of A given Bn into P of Bn. Expand this one and write, this is Bayes theorem. Okay, so in this Bayes theorem, P of Bn, this P of Bn is called as prior probability or priori probability, and P of Bn given A is posterior probability. Okay, so where practically where this Bayes theorem is used, the example of a Bayes theorem is, if we want to find out the tests of a patient, Okay, so medical test, by conducting the medical test on a patient, we can say that patient is diagnosed with this type of problem. So in that cases we use Bayes theorem. Here let us consider, for example, I am saying let us consider an event A as patient is having a liver disease. Okay, patient is having a liver disease, let it be event A. But before conducting the test, or before the test is performed on the patient, based on the past data, what the hospital can say is 10% of the patients who enters the clinic has has this liver disease. Okay, that is event A. That is not, test is not performed. Based on the past data, they are telling that the persons who are entering the clinic are having liver disease, that is 10%, that means 0.1. That means P of A is equal to 0.1. Next, let us consider an event B. Event B means test is performed. After the test is performed, what they are saying is 5% of the patients are alcoholics. 5% of the patients are alcoholics. Okay, that means probability of B equal to 0.05. But here all the alcoholic patients are not diagnosed with liver disease. Okay, so what is the information in the hospital is 7% of the patients who are alcoholic addicts are suffering with liver disease. Okay, 7% of the patients who are having alcoholic addiction are diagnosed with a liver disease. So that from the Bayes theorem we can say that probability of A given B, probability of A given B means we know that the formula P of A given B means the formula is P of B given A into P of A by summation of P of A given B. Okay, so here the example is, here we define P of B given A. P of B given A means probability that the patient is alcoholic given that they have liver disease. Probability that patient is alcoholic given that they have liver disease. So according to this information we can find out if the patient is alcoholic, the chances of getting the liver disease is 0.07, because 7% of the patients who are alcoholic addicts are having a liver disease. 0.07 into P of A, that is 0.1, by P of B, that is 0.05. What is the value? 0.14. That means 14%. 14% of the people are having liver disease who are alcoholic addicts. Okay, so this is the example, one of the example we can say related to the Bayes theorem. Okay, right. Next one, let us do the problems on um, do some problems on conditional probability and Bayes theorem. The first one is the two boxes are selected randomly. The first box contains 2 balls and the 2 white balls and 3 black balls. Second box contains 3 white balls and 4 black balls. What is the probability of drawing a white ball? So white ball is present in both the boxes. Let us consider B1. First box is B1. It contains total 5 balls, 2 white and 3 black. The second box B2 contains total 7 balls, 3 white and 4 black. So both boxes B1 and B2 contains white balls. So let us say that both are having the same probability. So P of B1 equal to P of B2 equal to 1 by 2, since there are 2 boxes. Okay, so if there are 3 boxes, 1 by 3, total number of outcomes is 3. Okay, so it is 0.5. So both the boxes B1 and B2 contains white balls. Probability of drawing a white ball from the first box is P of W by B1, it is 2 by 5, and probability of drawing a white ball from the second box is having 7 balls and with 3 white, so 3 by 7. Now total probability is this one. Total probability is P of W equal to P of W given B1 into P of B1 plus P of W given B2 into P of B2. So substitute these values, you will get 0.967. Okay, next let us discuss another problem. This is based on Bayes theorem. So this is a binary communication channel is given. This is the B1 and B2 are the transmitter section, A1 and A2 are at the receiver section. The probability of B1, P of B1 is 0.6 and P of B2 is given as 0.4. P of A1 given B1 is 0.9, P of A1 given B2 is 0.1, P of A2 given B1 is 0.1 and P of A2 given B2 is 0.9. So these four we have to find out. So we don't know the values of P of A1 and P of A2. We know P of B1 and P of B2. So first, before finding out this, we need to find out P of A1 and P of A2. So according to total probability theorem, find out P of A1 and P of A2. P of A1 is summation n equal to 1 to n P of A1 given Bn into P of Bn. So A1 given B1 and P of B1, A1 given B2 and P of B2, these values are already given in the problem itself. Substitute the values and find out P of A1 and P of A2. Okay, next we need to find out first one P of B1 given A1. P of B1 given A1 formula is P of B1 intersection A1 by P of A1. So if we want to find out this value, we don't know what is the numerator term B1 intersection A1. So for that purpose, first we need to consider this P of A1 given B1. Okay, P of A1 given B1 equal to P of A1 intersection B1 by P of B1. Take this to the left hand side. You can write P of A1 intersection B1 equal to P of A1 given B1 into P of B1. So from this we know the values of these two. Substitute and find out P of A1 intersection B1. According to commutative law, we know that P of A1 intersection B1 is P of B1 intersection A1. Now after getting this value, substitute here. Okay, P of B1 given A1 equal to P of B1 intersection A1 by P of A1. Substitute and find out. In the same way we can do the other three also. The next one is we have to find out P of B2 given A2. This formula is P of B2 intersection A2 by P of A2. Actually we don't know this numerator part. So for that purpose, let us consider A2 given B2. So if A2 given B2 value, we know that in the problem itself it is given A2 given B2 value, and P of B2 value is also given in the problem. So we can find out A2 intersection B2. So A2 intersection B2 is nothing but B2 intersection A2 according to commutative law. So after finding out, substitute in this one and you can find out P of B2 given A2. Okay, so the remaining two also we can do in the same process, these two. Next one, the last topic for today's class, we'll discuss on independent events. Independent events means here first we see for two events, the two events A and B. So the two events A and B are having non-zero probabilities. P of A is not equal to 0 and P of B is also not equal to 0. Then only we call that events are as statistically independent events. Okay, so statistically independent events means the probability of occurrence of one event is not affected by the occurrence of other event. Probability of occurrence of one event is not affected by the occurrence of other event, then only we can say that two events are independent to each other. P of A given B equal to P of A and P of B given A equal to P of B. So these are the two conditions for statistically independent events. So how can we prove that? First one, take the conditional probability definition. P of A given B equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. So take this to the left hand side. P of A intersection B equal to P of A given B into P of B. And we know that statistically independent events, the condition is P of A given B equal to P of A. Now substitute here P of A. Substitute here P of A. So independent events means P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B. The probability of A intersection means joint probability. The probability of joint occurrence of two events P of A intersection B is equal to the product of the two event probabilities P of A and P of B. This one. The product of two event probabilities P of A and P of B. So for mutually exclusive events, P of A intersection B is equal to 0. Now, from this we can say that two events cannot be mutually exclusive and statistically independent. Okay, so mutually exclusive means A intersection B is 0. Statistically independent means A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B. So these two cannot occur at the same time. We cannot relate these two. So the two events cannot be mutually exclusive and statistically independent at a time. Okay, next one, for multiple events, this is for two events. Multiple events also we can define the same. P of A1 intersection A2 equal to P of A1 into A2. P of A1 intersection A3 is P of A1 into P of A3. P of A2 intersection A3 is P of A2 into P of A3. In the same way, for the three events we define P of A1 into P of A2 into P of A3. Now properties of independent events. Let us consider n number of independent events A1 to An. Okay, any one of them is independent of any event formed by unions, intersections and complements of the other. This is the first property. The second property is, let us consider two events A1 and A1 and A2. These two are independent events means they are independent of unions, they are independent of intersections, they are independent of complements. Here A1 is independent of complement of A2. A1 is independent of complement of A2. Complement of A1 is independent of A2. Complement of A1 is independent of complement of A2. Okay. Next one is third property. Three independent events we consider A1, A2 and A3. Any one is independent of the joint occurrence of the other two. Joint occurrence of other two means A2 intersection A3 or A1 intersection A3 or A1 intersection A2. This is joint occurrence. So any one is independent of joint occurrence of the other two. Probability of A1 intersection A2 intersection A3 is P of A1 into P of A2 into P of A3. In the same way we can write for the other two also. And the last property, the three independent events, any one event is also independent of the union of other two. Okay, this one we can write. So these are the different topics: conditional probability, total probability, joint probability, next Bayes theorem and independent events, and some of the examples we have discussed today. Thank you for listening the class. Thank you.